I have about a 4 gram, dumbass. I have about a 4 gram gold ring in my hand here. It's 10 karat. I'm gonna put it on this edge right on the top of my deck here, and I'm gonna show you a weakness of machines, and especially a weakness of the Deus, full tones. And I have a lot of videos of live dig gold rings and just all kinds of rings, right? Some of them are on their edge. And these rings that are on their edge are tricky targets, right? And I'm going to show you the weaknesses of the Deus here, right? Full tones is actually the weakness of full tones. And I think it's equally as important to know the weaknesses of a machine and as the strengths of the machine, right? The more you master a machine, the more that you learn a machine, you know, you begin to learn its weaknesses. It doesn't take too long to learn the strengths of a machine, but to really master a machine, it's more important, I think, to know the weaknesses. I want to know what to listen for. That's why I do these tests, right? So I know what to listen for. I don't want to skip up those iffy targets, because jewelry a lot of time are iffy targets, especially when they're on their edge, because they're odd shaped, right? And jewelry is usually near the surface. And I think the reason why I've been getting so many gold rings and just so much more out of the ground with the Deus than my other machines is because it rejects the deeper junk, right? And I can swing fast with the Deus. It likes a fast swing speed, right? A lot of people say, oh, you're swinging way too fast, you're swinging way too fast. Well, you probably don't swing a Deus, right? You probably never swung a Deus before. The Deus prefers a faster swing speed than other detectors. And most of the jewelry that you find is near the surface, right? Especially in parks or schools or curb strips. Jewelry doesn't go very deep. And the reason why I have been getting more gold rings and more jewelry and just more targets in general. Sure, I have been digging up more junk, but the Deus I can swing all day long, super fast and not get tired, right? I don't have to slow down, take a break because my arm is tired, right? My arm never gets tired with the Deus. But the Deus has a weakness, and that is full tones. And I'll show you that right here. But it doesn't have to be a weakness. If you know how to swing the coil right, every detector has, and every coil has a sweet spot on that coil, right? A very sensitive part of the coil. And on the Deus, it's different than any other detector that I've really swung. The Deus on odd-shaped targets on both these coils here, right? And it really matters which frequency you're into. The higher frequencies are really sensitive right up here, right? On odd-shaped targets, it's, I'll show you here when I'm swinging over this coil here. In the higher frequency, I'm not going to change frequencies in this test either, but this is a weakness of the Deus. And I've known this for quite a while. And it's taken me a little bit to brainstorm really how to demonstrate this and really how I'll go about this video. And the sweet spot on this coil is actually right up here, right? And that can be a weakness, but if you know really how to swing the coil, every single detector, you have to swing differently, right? You have to kind of move the coil around with finesse, right? With the Simplex, I think you can really just be kind of erratic with the Simplex, and it really likes just anything, right? It's kind of a beast, right, in its own ways. With the Equinox, you got to really smooth swing it, right, to be able to pinpoint that targets. With the Deus, it likes a fast swing speed, right? If you slow down on your swing speed, the tones change totally, right? And I'll show you that right here. And I'm going to put this ring on its edge here, if I can balance it here. And I'll cover it up. I'll cover it up with this plastic dish so I don't hit it. Knock it off its edge there during these tests here. And this is a full tones thing right here. And with pitch tones, it operates just a little bit differently, right? I'll actually just turn the detector on here. Stock hot program, 14 kilohertz hot program, HF coil. On this edge. Right, I lose that target. That's full tones for you. See, I back out of my coil here. See, the sweet spot is not in the center of the coil there, right? I'll rotate on it as I'm swinging. Right in the center of the coil, right there. I'll rotate on it. Right in the center of the coil there. See, I lose it. Right? But if I back out of it, I'll be able to hit it, right? It's a different beast than other detectors, right? And that is actually a strength when you're in iron, right? So it has a really sensitive spot right here, especially when you're in the higher frequencies. I'll actually put this in the higher frequencies and I'll show you the difference. I'll put it in 54 kilohertz. 54 kilohertz. Watch. It cleans the tones up a little bit, but it still has that sensitive part of the coil right there, right? Right. When I get directly over that target, I'm not hitting it right. Barely hitting it right. Actually, I'll put it in pitch tones here. I'll put it in pitch tones, and I'll show you the difference. Just a stock pitch program here. Number 5 program, or number 4 program. See, I'm at least hitting it a little bit there. But I'm hitting it a lot better on the tip, right there, right? But I don't back my coil out. I don't back my coil out of targets and pinpoint that way. I pinpoint just by the tones, right? I can swing over a target about 3 times and then just dig it up, right? A lot of people pinpoint differently, right? But with the Deus, just a little bit of swing over that, right? I don't know if you guys, I can't really hear it on my videos, but in person, you know, when I have this Deus underneath my chin here, I can hear a lot better than the camera can. And now I'll put it in 2-tone, or actually put it in 3-tone here, right? Listen to this target here. I'm getting double tones on it, right? I'm getting the mid and the high tone, right? Right? The same thing, right? I'm actually getting a high tone on it this way. Now I'll back out of it. I'm still getting a high tone, right? It's a mid-tone, it's a mid-tone. But see, on the edge of the coil there, I'm getting a high tone, and on the middle of the coil, I'm getting a mid-tone. So it's really jumpy tones, right? See that? So it's a lot harder to pinpoint in 2, 3, 4, and 5-tone. I'll actually put it in 54 kilohertz. It's not going to change the tones. It's not going to change the tones because the tones are already preset in 2 and 3, 4, 5 tones, right? It actually cleaned it up a lot, right? It cleaned it up a lot, right? In full tones, I cannot adjust my tone breaks and I cannot adjust my tones, so I'm very limited what I can do with tones in full tones. You get what you get in full tones. But I do these tests so I know what to listen for. Now I'll show you the Simplex here. .277 SB24 coil on it. Park 1, full gain. Holy crap, Batman. Holy crap, Batman. I'm gonna try park 2. See, it's a weakness of the Deus, right? It's very sensitive on that coil tip, so you really got to know where that sensitive part of that coil is. Now I'll go to field mode. See, it's doing the same thing in field mode, right? Getting a high tone on the tip, and I'm get over the center of the coil there, right? Kind of erratic tones there a little bit. I'll try the Equinox here. All machines do the same thing on this target here. You know, you really got to know where that sweet spot is on that coil, right? 13, rotate on it, right? Goes down the low tones, right? Back out of the coil there. See, the Equinox is a lot more sensitive in the center. This coil is a lot more sensitive right in the center, and it's a lot smaller coil too, so you don't really have to sweep. You don't have to move your coil around so much, right? And try park 1. Right, it goes down the low tones right there. So I do a lot of testing on my machines. I test for so many more hours a week than you guys can ever imagine, right? I'm always testing machines, and so I know what to listen for. So when I do get out in the field, I know not to skip up those iffy targets, right? Because those iffy targets really are the ones that are going to surprise you the most. You know, everybody knows what a silver dime sounds like, right? They all sound the same, right? The coins sound the same. You know when you're on a coin. You don't know when you're on a gold ring. Gold rings just pop up whenever, right? Digging those iffies, right? You know when you're on a coin. It can get boring digging coins all day long. You know, you sure might dig a few bucks in clad, but all it takes is one of those iffy targets to be a, you know, $1,000 gold ring. You just never know. Well, thank you for watching. Please subscribe.